So it turns out that it was the Aboki men that Damien sent to dispose of this girl's body that eventually exposed him. So this is an update to the story of the Uniport boy that was caught in Port Harcourt after he had killed and dismembered his girlfriend's body in his apartment. Initially, we were told that it was while he was trying to do away with the body in the estate that the estate security men caught him. We were also told that it was the neighbors who perceived foul smell that reported to the security, which led to his eventual exposure. But from what we are hearing, it turned out that after Damien had killed Justina, it is believed that he had cut out some vital organs of hers and had traveled to where he would need to use it, probably to the spirit doctor or to the ritualist doctor who requested for it. And when he was done there, he returned home and decided to find new ways to dispose of the girl's body, which led him into cutting her into pieces and putting her in a big bag in his apartment. However, in his bid to secretly get rid of this girl's body, it was said he started cutting it into chunks and putting it into dirty bags to mix it with his normal trash in the house. And as common as it is, it was the Aboki men in the neighborhood who goes around taking people's trash that Damien trusted these bags with. It's not clear how he did it. Maybe he pushed it with a wheelbarrow, but from sources it was said that he was trying to dispose of this girl's body bits by bits, like pieces of meat. And so when he gave to this group of Aboki men to dispose of his trash, the Aboki men picked it up and, carried on with their day, thinking, yeah, this is just another day of work. But in the usual nature of these scavengers, when they take up your trash, they tend to want to look into it to see what would be useful to them, to see if there's anything that you have disposed of that would be of benefit or of use or something that they could easily recycle and sell and make money off of. So that is what these scavengers usually do. They do it everywhere. They go to the trash bin, check for things that they could use, and at the time they find a lot of valuable things in these trash bags that could earn them money. But in this Damien's case, when they checked the bag, they were first of all irritated by the stench that came out of it, thinking it was just a normal meat that he had disposed of, but it looked so different and maybe smelt a little bit different. And that was when they realized that this bag contained human body parts. It was this man that eventually went to this estate security to let them know what they had discovered, because obviously if they are caught with that bag, they will be the ones to be held accountable. They will be the ones to be accused of killing someone. So these Aboki men quickly reported to the security men in the estate, and they traced the bag back to Damien's house, where more of the discovery was made. And by now, you must have heard his testimony, because he has finally spoken up as to his involvement in the death of Justina, his girlfriend, which in our previous video, we said she was his ex. And we weren't wrong. It turns out that Justina and Damien were not even dating as at the time that she was killed. They were not exactly a couple. Even Damien said it in his confession that they used to go off and on in their relationship. And so Justina's friends had pointed out that Damien and Justina were not supposed to be together, that they were already broken up, that they were surprised that she went back to him. Their relationship had ended as far back as 2021, which was no mystery, because even when we were talking about the story, we kind of figured out that there's a chance that they were no longer together, because when she went missing, nobody thought to check his apartment. Nobody thought to ask him on her whereabouts. Nobody knew she was with him. It was almost as if she was secretly going back to him. It was almost as if they were probably back together, but she kept it away from her friends. Because when she went missing, meanwhile she was doing her IT somewhere in Port Harcourt, so they assumed when she goes for IT job, she will go back to her lodge or go back to her apartment. But when her friends did not see her, they knew something was up. But they weren't sure who to associate her with, because at the time she wasn't dating Damien, and nobody knew if she was sneaking secretly or if she was still going to see him occasionally. But that is the thing with exes. A lot of exes do have access to each other even after they've broken up. A lot of people do have access to their exes because, oh, there was once love there was once a relationship there, so you once trusted this person. Often at times they go back. Often at times, they become friends. So there is this accessibility to each other. And I think this was most likely the case with Justina and Damien, which most likely gave him the confidence and the intuition that he could actually kill this girl and no one would know, because after all, nobody knew that they were together. When she went missing, they didn't search his house. They just kept thinking she had been kidnapped or she had gone somewhere or she had run away. Because if they knew For a fact, if her friends knew that she was still dating Damien, that would be the first place they would have searched. That would be the first place that they would have taken the police to. Because the friends would know. The friends would say, oh, well, Justina told me that she was going to stop by her boyfriend's house. Normally, Seth, when a girl or someone goes missing, the first person that they want to search is the spouse, the partner, the boyfriend. That's the first person that the police would want to investigate. But nobody thought to check for Damien. Nobody thought to check for him because he wasn't her boyfriend at the time. And I guess if their relationship was known at the time, he probably wouldn't have done what he did to her. He probably would have been so scared to do it. But he knew that nobody knew they were dating. And so he used that to his own advantage to kill this girl. Why he did it, we don't know. But the funny thing is, he has denied killing her. So we have even started the court process. We have even started the investigation process. We know when this thing goes to court, this will be his argument. Because Damien, when interviewed by the press, when paraded by the police, he claimed that he did not kill the girl. According to him, she came to visit him, to spend the night, and that she was supposed to leave the next day. He claimed that they bought snacks, Hollandia yogurt and some tiny bit of snacks to eat for the evening, which he ate with her. But then somehow he fell sick. He wasn't strong enough, and somehow he went out and came back and saw her dead in his apartment. And he wasn't so sure what to do. This is according to him. When he was asked why he didn't report this to anyone, he said that he was scared that people will not believe him.
So why was that body dismembered?
The dismember, I don't know. I don't dismember her body. I don't
What was the last meal you people ate before that girl slept that night?
It was snacks and the Hollandia yogurt.
Hollandia yogurt. Who served her with the Hollandia yogurt?
Hollandia exotica. It's me. It's me that.
It's you.
It's me that brought it. It's both of us that drank it.
So after when you find out the body, since you did not report to the police, did you call any of our family member or our friend to report that this is what happened to her?
No, I don't know. Why?
Why? Okay, when your brother came to the house, what did you not tell? What did you do to tell him?
I didn't even tell my brother. I didn't tell anybody. I was just very scared. But I don't know what to do.
Were you alone in the compound? Or do you have any other neighbors? And why didn't you report to your neighbors?
I don't report to my neighbors because I'm just moving in the compound. I just moved in.
How long ago?
I moved in like a week ago.
And we are
This is his claim. But the truth is, do we believe him? The truth is he telling the truth? Damien looks like the kind of guy that is sneaky. He looks like the kind of person that is not very honest. And he looks like the kind of person that would lie. However, we've talked about these kind of things in our video. We made a whole movie about this. For those of you who have seen our short film that we made, The Hookup, where a young man wakes up to a dead girl in his house, not sure of what to do, begins to dismember the body in a bid to dispose of it. But then when they are caught, it's hard to say that you are innocent. It's hard to prove you're innocent. It's hard to convince anyone that you did not kill this girl. Is it possible that Justina was sick and came to his apartment and passed and died? Yes, it is very possible. And then maybe he panicked and did not know what to do, decided to run away for a while, and maybe go and ask a few friends, and decided that he had to come back and find a way to get rid of her. Very possible. But it's hard now to believe him, given that he had already started dismembering her body in a bid to dispose it secretly, which is going to be difficult to convince us that he did not do it on purpose. It's going to be difficult to convince us that he did not mean to kill this girl. And that thing there that is at play is, having to know his movement, having to check the girl's body and know what part of her vital organs were invested. We're told her private part and her eyes and other parts of her body were plucked out. If indeed it can be checked that certain specific parts were removed that were not disposed of, then that is when we can know for a fact that he actually tried to use her for money rituals. Otherwise, if those parts are still there, it's going to be believable that somehow he wandered up dead in his apartment and he got scared to dispose of it. But that is something we don't know. That is something that needs to come out of his mouth. That is something that he would need to confess to us, because we would not know for a fact. And now that he has been given the mic, the one thing he is saying is that he came home and found her dead, but didn't have time to report because he was very sick and needed to feel better. And when he eventually felt better, his first thought was to get rid of her bit by bit without raising any suspicion. People don't believe him. A lot of people are saying he's lying. And well, there is that possibility also. It's just an unfortunate situation and an unfortunate incident. Many people have already started citing the fact that we knew him to be a content creator. He was a big boy already. Even back in 2021, he seemed to have a lot of money. This was during the pandemic era where everyone was still wearing nose masks. That he was, his content revolves around going around with money, paying strangers to kiss and make out or do stuff to him. And it was said that he did give out this huge sum of money, 10,000 naira to one person to just kiss, 20,000 naira to people to do silly things to him. So he did seem like a big boy at the time. Even in the video, you could see that he looked like a fresh, glowing boy, light skinned, maybe bleaching, who knows. But it was clear. And it was also clear that the apartment where he was right now, where he killed his girl, he had only moved in there 2 months ago. Like he was new to that apartment. Which means that this boy maybe he clearly had money. Yes, it's been said that he's a Yahoo boy, an internet fraudster who, defraud people online. But we also know that there's a thing as the Yahoo Plus, where people who engaged in internet fraud seek spiritual and native help to enhance their money grabbing from these unfortunate foreigners that they meet online. And in the process of, to enhance it, they need to do some sort of ritual sacrifices that mostly involve killing or taking the destiny of another person, which is most times someone they love, like a mother, a sister, or a girlfriend in most cases. So that is the angle that this one is pertaining to. If the investigation can prove that he was in talks with somebody requesting certain body parts, then we have a line of story to believe in. And I think that is the most plausible one. Also, they need to check his bank account to see if he was even running broke, because that is usually the time that they do this. That is the time that they engage in stuff, when they realize that the money is running low and the Christmas holiday is coming. Because you all need to understand, we've said this before, and I said it earlier on in September. This Christmas period, this December, November, even up to the New Year, this is where we see a lot of money ritual crimes happening. This is where a lot of people get killed for money. This is where a lot of people go into the worst crime possible for money. So this is what we're going to be seeing often if people are not very careful. Now, another thing again I would like to hear your thoughts about is whether or not Justina should be chastised for dating or loving Damian, because a lot of people have blatantly criticized her for knowing that her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend is into fraudulent activity, but yet she still associates herself with her. A lot of people have been victim blaming her, and personally I think it's unfair, because we know in our line of content that we've seen people who even do honest jobs. We've seen doctors, we've seen teachers, we've seen pastors, men of God, kill people for rituals. So even if she knew her boyfriend was into fraudulent activities and she associated herself with him, that is no justification for what happened to her. That does not mean she made a bad choice. Because even people who have dated pastors, people who have dated reverends, people who have dated doctors, people who have dated teachers, people who have dated people who seem to make honest living have been killed too for rituals. So do we then blame those victims? In the end, the heart of a man is usually unpredictable. People can wake up the next day and become monsters. So personally, I just wanted to use this moment to express how I feel about people who kept criticizing her for going back to her ex, knowing he's a fraudster, knowing he's a Yahoo boy. Yes, that might be problematic, but it's not enough grounds to blame her or blame other girls who love people who are into bad activities. Because still, girls who have also loved people who are into good activities, who have married men with good or legit source of income, have also been killed by these men too for ritual purposes. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel. Do you believe Damian that he woke up and found her dead in his apartment and did not know what to do before dismembering her body? Or do you think he actually meant to kill her for money ritual purposes? Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and stay on our channel, so should there be any future updates, you'll be the first to get notified. Thank you guys for watching.